Good morning, good morning. Hopefully everything's getting set up good. Um, yeah, this is new. I mean, I haven't done a live stream in such a long time in this channel. I think the only time I do live streams is when Nvidia earnings happen, but I don't know. Um, I want to try something new, so I want to see how live streams do on a few days during the week. So if you guys enjoy it, feel free to let me know. I'm here to just kind of take questions about the semiconductor. What's going on, Light? What's going on, Mike? What's going on, SOG? What's going on, Jody? What's going on, Midwest? Midwest, I just want to say appreciate all the support, man. Every single video I get that comment is pretty amazing. So this is my first time. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the video is good. I'm just gonna take a closer look at some overall stuff. William, do I know Parkev? I mean, I know of him. Obviously, we do have kind of like that partnership in the Motley Fool world, but do I know his investing style and stuff like that? I would say no. Robert, what's going on, Robert? Um, and hopefully, as I do this more, I'm gonna try this today. I'm gonna try this tomorrow as well. Luckily for me, right, the first day I'm trying to live stream, we're gonna see the market is pretty red today. What's going on, Dan? Um, Audio is good. I'm got Cedric. I know Nvidia's going down again. I mean, Nvidia is definitely one of those stocks that I think right now investors are kind of tired of. They're getting excited about other plays. What's going on, Philip? Light, will market be going up today? I mean, I wish I knew the answer because if I knew the answer, I would be doing zero days options. I'm gonna say I don't know. Market is starting off pretty red, but I don't know. Bull trap, bear trap, whatever it's gonna be. It's starting off pretty red, especially in the semiconductor space, right? Let me just share my screen. Let's see what we have happening right now, and let's see if we can find anything going on. Um, so I'm going to be a little bit slower than normal just because I am getting used to the live stream setup and my overall studio right now. Um, Not even 9:30. I know, but we can see pre-markets are are looking bad already. We can see Nvidia is down roughly 1.6%. Let me share screen real quick. Share screen, Windows. I think this is it. We're just not getting that's okay, Philip. If we're not getting love in forms of the semiconductor space, that's okay in my opinion. Main reason I think that's okay, it gives us opportunity to find the semiconductor stocks that we enjoy and kind of buy more. I mean, Nvidia wasn't loved much before this AI craze, even though it was doing so well. A lot of other semiconductor companies like Broadcom and Marvell weren't getting much love. But yeah, we can see, right, Nvidia is down roughly 1.5%, sitting at 134. We also have one you guys tend to hate, AMD is down roughly 0.7%. We have Broadcom down roughly 2.3%. We have, let's see Big Tech right now. So Big Tech down roughly zero point 0.1 here with Apple. We also have kind of Microsoft down about 1%. So let's see, so much red. I don't know, right? I mean, honestly, I woke up. I was like, you know what? Let me try a live stream. I don't see anything really affecting the market right now. Let's see. Dow futures falls more than 300 points in second to last trading session. Life updates. The major track investors. Boom. However, somewhere, and this is the thing, right? There's no real answer why the market is down. Here we can see CNBC is saying, hey, look, however, some worries have mounted that market may be losing momentum with some year-end profit taking after the major averages notched losing sessions on Friday. So it seems like many believe it's just overall pre-market and pre-market jitters, and it could be just kind of market selling. You guys know me, I could care less about it could be Savannah. That could be a little bit right. We did have a few kind of updates happening over the weekend. Unfortunately, we did have kind of that plane crash happening in South Korea. We also lost one of our former sitting presidents yesterday. So there's just a lot of things happening in the world that can come up and can create noise here for the semiconductor space and just for the market in general. So what's going on? Just bought some shares. So yeah, I mean, Microsoft is down about 1%. If we look, I just want to look at my overall charts right now. Here are all my semiconductor companies. We have Tesla, which is not a semiconductor, but down about 2.4%. We have Broadcom down 2.4%. We have Marvell down 2%. We have Net, again, not in the semiconductor space, but in the semiconductor ecosystem, down 2%. Camtech, a semiconductor equipment, down 2%. So it seems like the rough majority of semiconductor stocks that I tend to follow are down about 1 to 2% on pre-markets. That doesn't dictate how the market is going to go from here. But yeah, I just bought some shares at 134. You're talking about Nvidia. Best of luck, Nvidia. Yesterday I did an episode on Nvidia, and it was probably one of my favorites. Right, it was one where I really I explained kind of the moats of Nvidia and why Nvidia is the king of AI. You guys know me; I'm bullish in a lot of semiconductor stocks, but there's no one catching up to Nvidia anytime soon. This stock is just dominating. I mean, Jensen is such a what is it called when you're not scared but when you're paranoid. He's such a paranoid person, and that paranoia is just something that is pushing Nvidia to get to new levels. What's going on, June? What else? What's going on, AC? Even though you're saying hey to Midwest. But yeah, so I mean, if you guys have any questions about the semiconductor market, feel free to ask. You guys know me, that's the space I love to discuss. I can probably tear your ear out on that. Right now, I'm just going to be patiently waiting to see what kind of news we're getting in the semiconductor space. Oh man, William, you have 2,000 shares. Pretty amazing. Hope they dominate 2025. I mean, right now with what we're seeing, right, every big tech player continues to invest heavily in CapEx, in AI infrastructure. Data centers continue to be built out. So, I mean, I definitely see 2025 being strong. The only thing I want to say is the market is always so worried about Nvidia. That is a company that if we get some bad news over the weekend, it could create kind of a lot of volatility. But I think from everything we've heard from just this last earnings that happened 2 months ago, we are already in some great momentum for 2025. Yeah, I speak Spanish. Spanish is actually my first language. But my main language, even though you guys can't tell, is probably English. Let's see. So yeah, CES is coming up, right? I think CES is gonna be pretty strong in forms of products. I think what I'm more curious about is kind of what consumer products are showcasing with AI solutions. I think that would be pretty interesting. We might also get kind of a lot of automotive stuff as well, a lot of voice AI. Obviously, CES is going to have the keynote by the king himself right now, Jensen, on January 6th at 6:30 p.m. So I don't know if I will. Maybe I might do a live stream of the keynote. Who knows? The day after, I'm actually traveling. Maybe I should have gone to CES. Maybe one day I will. But we are here, remember, I don't think we're going to get any real data center news. Now, if we get any data center news, that would be insane. I think that would actually be really nice for the stock. But normally in CES is a consumer electronics show, so we only hear about consumer products. The real excitement that is coming out of CES is really not the next generation of consumer GPUs. Even though I'm most likely going to buy the new one, we are hearing reports that the new 5090 is about $2,000. But I think what many people are excited is there are reports and rumors that Nvidia is entering into the CPU space for the consumers market. And if that happens, I think that's actually going to be very bullish for the stock. Because the CPU market, they are going to be able to accelerate this pace at a faster level, very similar to how we see them doing in the data center market. Originally, when I heard about this rumor, I think this rumor has been going on for maybe a year and a half now. But originally, when I heard it, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't too happy about them entering the CPU space. But seeing how well they're doing with the CPU market in the data center space, I think there's definitely a great opportunity for them in the consumer market. So let's see, feeling on ANETs. Let's see, I'm not too, I mean, the networking side, is definitely very, very important. I mean, and that's where ANET probably is a computer networking company. Year to date, how is the company up 100%? I'm pretty sure they're seeing huge growth right now in AI accelerating clusters and AI data center growth. So this is a company I definitely want to keep a closer eye on. Not one I follow too much, but I know there's a lot of investors that are kind of bullish in this company, and I can definitely see why. So let's see, what else do we have? Any Vertiv. So any Michael, I actually did a video on Vertiv about maybe 2, 3 months ago. So you can probably Google my name and put Vertiv YouTube. Let's see if that comes out. Yep. So here it's hopefully it's not just because I Google my name so often, Michael. But on October 2nd, that's pretty much a deep dive that I did on Vertiv. Vertiv is definitely a very exciting company. For those that don't know, we can go to their website real quick. They create a lot of the infrastructure needed for AI data centers, right? They have kind of the thermal management, the critical, the power management, the rack enclosures, monitoring kind of that infrastructure. The only reason I'm not bullish in Vertiv is there's actually a few reasons. Not bullish, but why I wouldn't purchase. First reason is at the end of the day, this is a very a company that depends a lot on construction, right? And that construction kind of slows down its growth. We've heard from Vertiv, they're only saying kind of like 15-20% year over year growth, which is very, very impressive. But the AI companies that I own are will that I own grow at faster levels. And the reason is construction just takes time. It takes time to build these massive, massive data centers and to kind of get all that cooling and everything in line. So because of that, it does kind of create a bottleneck in revenue growth. Obviously, they are seeing huge growth in kind of their backlogs, which is very bullish. And we're seeing kind of the data center market continue to expand. I mean, we have Meta, Amazon, Microsoft all building massive data centers all around the world, and some huge ones, especially here in the United States, with million plus clusters eventually. But we can see the stock, I think, has also been kind of quiet. Year to date, it's been up a nice amount. But I think when I looked at it in October, it was sitting around this 100 and something dollar range as well. Yeah, October 2nd, when I did it, it was around 106. So since then, the stock is only up 7%. I kind of mentioned it that maybe I might have missed the boat on this one. It's one that I believe patient investors can get at a better price point. But overall, Lang, Def, or whoever who wants to check out on Vertiv, that was a nice deep dive on that company if you want to learn more about it. June, let's see. Any thoughts on Exelis Technologies? Was thinking, I know that, hold on. I'm not too familiar with that semiconductor play. Let's see. This is one that I have had on my list. But a market cap, I mean, I think right now, small market cap semiconductor companies have strong growth for them. I think right now everybody's just looking at the big players. I'm trying to look and research on those semiconductor companies that are $10 billion and below. The ones that I'm really looking at right now are the semiconductor equipment plays, right? We have kind of like Click. I think maybe does Bessie still fall under that? Close to that. So Bessie is another one I like right now. Is Camtech under that? Yeah, so Camtech. So I believe the semiconductor equipment space below 10 billion is pretty impressive. I want to branch out into other semiconductor companies, but I'm not. Let's see what they do. So X, um, uh, ion implementation. So Exelis built on next generation delivers precision, purity, and productivity with the lowest cost of energy. Oh, they are actually also a semiconductor equipment play. Now, June, I mean, obviously, I have, I'm not, I can't predict the future, but I think 2025 is going to be really strong for the semiconductor equipment market. I think we're going to see, especially if we see a huge adoption in consumer products, we're going into new generations of manufacturing nodes. So 2 nanometers and below, you kind of need new processing equipment. You need better technology. And if they are included in that space, again, I'd rather do some research first. But I mean, they don't in the semiconductor equipment space. That's the one I'm pretty bullish on. I do. It seems like chip stock investor with Nick R. Is covering it. So they might have a little bit more knowledge in this space, but it's definitely one I'm gonna look at. Let me look at Y charts real quick for overall PE ratios expectations. So let's see. See, I mean, so this is trading pretty cheap. Is there a reason it's trading pretty cheap? I'm pretty sure revenue is going to be down on a year-to-year basis. Main reason, the semiconductor equipment play is definitely getting hit right now. So let me look at revenue trailing 12 months. No, actually, it's actually up on a nice basis. So it's seeing revenue growth, cash and short-term investments quarterly. Let's also look at long-term debt. Let's look at free cash flow. I mean, overall, again, June, I don't know the company, right? So right now what I'm doing is I'm just looking at the overall fundamentals in financials. And it gives me at least, hey, Jose, should you take a closer look at this? It's trading at low PE ratios. It's growing its revenue. It has no debt. It has plenty of cash, and it is positive in free cash flow. So at least for now, in forms of financials, it looks okay and pretty healthy. Now, the question is, in the upcoming quarters, how is its technology going to improve? Now, I don't know if you guys want me to do it, but normally what I would do is I would kind of go to their earnings transcript and plug it into ChatGPT really quick and kind of just do a quick overview of what are some of the questions I would ask ChatGPT in forms of it. But I think with the AI space, you can do so much and learn so much about a company, but I don't know if you guys will get bored with something like that, of how it would go through that process. So let's see what else. Isn't Nvidia powering Google's quantum computing chips? I saw that Nvidia and Google teamed up for quantum technology. Yes. So Nvidia, I don't know if necessarily it's powering its chip. Right now, quantum computing is definitely in very early stages. So we have hybrid quantum computing, which is the ability that you use kind of traditional computing. Let's see if NVIDIA has it here. I was just looking at it a few days ago. But I did an episode like on NVIDIA's kind of quantum market. Hopefully, the quantum market is definitely a market that's going to be revolutionary in the future. I think there's a lot of hype maybe right now with how short things can happen. I think in the long term, hybrid quantum computing is going to be very important. I think right now we're still in early stages. For example, that Willow chip got so much praise because let's look at Willow chip. Google is great at marketing. So I'm not Willow Quantum. Right, Quantum is great. Is great, but when they do something like this, that second Willow performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that would take today's fastest supercomputer 10 septillion, that's 10 to the 25 years, a number that vastly exceeds the age of the universe. So when people read that, right, they kind of go, oh man, Nvidia and all these AI chip companies are dead. But at the end of the day, right, it's the semiconductor space, the chip market, the kind of computing market. It's one industry. It's like saying construction. It's like saying the hammer is dead because the saw or the drill was involved. No, there's two different tools, and different tools are used for different workloads, right? You can say a hammer can cut down a tree in 2 hours, but a saw can do it in 1 minute. And you're going to say the saw can do something 100,000 times faster than a hammer when talking about cutting. And that's how I think it's important to remember quantum computing versus traditional computing. There are certain workloads and certain questions that are meant for quantum computing that are optimized for quantum computing. There are other workloads that are going to be meant for traditional computing as well. So big difference there. And the manufacturing, the keeping up of quantum chips is a whole different element that I think quantum is still in its infancy. stage, if that. There is a pretty cool video by Nvidia on quantum computing that I think everybody should watch outside of this one. So the first video you should always watch is my video, Nvidia Stock Investors Worried About Quantum Computing. I dropped that about a week ago. But another one is this one. It's about an 8-minute video from Nvidia, and it discusses the real. It's a shame when there's so much information out there, especially by a company like Nvidia, and you only get about 3.7 thousand views, yet the stock market is going crazy about quantum computing. I think if most quantum investors took the opportunity to watch this 8-minute video, it might kind of change a little bit the perspective of where we're at in quantum computing. But look, only 3.7 thousand people view this video, and it kind of talks a lot about kind of, hey, look, what's the difference between quantum computing and traditional computing? What are some of the workloads where quantum computing can have a huge impact? What are some of the bottlenecks that are left? So definitely, if you're curious about quantum computing, start off with this video that's about 8 minutes long, and it's done by some NVIDIA engineer, I believe. So definitely recommend it. And they also talk about kind of the solutions that they have in the quantum computing space. Let's see, I have another question here. Hi, Jose, do you see growth potential in ASML? Now, this is another one I tend to get. I don't know if I'm gonna. I think ASML is a great stock, right? I definitely do think ASML is a great stock. But am I bullish in it? I would say yes. I think ASML can do well. I am more bullish in other semiconductor equipment players right now. The semiconductor market, right? And if we kind of look at, I think, let's go to Applied Materials, Investor Relations. This would be a great way, I think, to understand the semiconductor space a little bit more. So they have a pretty cool presentation. Let me just go to presentations really quick. So real answer, I think ASML is definitely a good stock. I think the semiconductor space, especially the equipment space, has other opportunities outside of ASML. Events. Boom, boom, boom. I think it's master classes. I think it happened. New ways to shrink. Supporting. Is it this one? I think it's this one. If it is this one, it's crazy. I remember this. So lame. It wasn't this one. It wasn't? Yes, it actually was. All right. So this is this when you think about semiconductor equipment manufacturing, most people just think of ASML and say, hey, look, ASML has a monopoly in this space. This is very true. ASML has a monopoly in the semiconductor manufacturing space. Except though, the manufacturing space is something that has multiple workloads. We have lithography, which ASML does, and this is just one piece of the pie. In my opinion, the bottleneck of semiconductor manufacturing right now is not in lithography. Lithography can grow as we're building more manufacturing plants all over the world, but the bottleneck in manufacturing right now is in things like metrology, is in things like etching, in things like CVD, in things like other types of etching and kind of combinations happening in the semiconductor space. So ASML can definitely benefit. I wouldn't ever bet against ASML, but I think there's better opportunities in the equipment plays, and that's why I personally enjoy companies like Lam Research, companies like On2, Camtech, which are either dealing with some form of etching, deposition, some form of metrology, some form of advanced packaging, bonding. Again, ASML, definitely a great company. I think it can benefit, but I think the semiconductor equipment space has other opportunities elsewhere. Due to skills, Jose, I wish. I just really enjoy reading the semiconductor market, that I'm able to pull up a lot of memorization of what I've remembered both from my education, work experience, and the kind of research I do here. Um, the Wink. Will Nvidia get a boost in? Will get a boost. It bet in robotics. I think if yeah. Well, first, I think robotics is going to be very, very big in the future, and I think Nvidia's solutions are going to be a big play in forms of software solution, in forms of their GPUs, in forms of their hardware as well. I mean, I think the biggest opportunity for Nvidia for robotics outside of hardware is things like simulation, and Nvidia is doing really well here. So NVIDIA, in my opinion, the great thing about NVIDIA is this is one that has vast opportunities that can pretty much come out of nowhere. The bad thing about NVIDIA is sometimes these opportunities might take a little bit longer to really show some results. So again, right now, NVIDIA is definitely dominating the AI space. But what happens when AI starts to evolve the healthcare market? What happens when it starts to evolve the robotics market? What happens when NVIDIA really focuses more on quantum computing as quantum computing becomes more important? So NVIDIA definitely has the growth opportunity. Unfortunately, sometimes a lot of the current expectations and the current market is already priced in to some extent, in my opinion. Right. So that's why I believe at the end of the day, NVIDIA is definitely a player for the patient investor. Um, why will Apple won't work with NVIDIA? There's some beef that happens with Apple and NVIDIA many years ago. I honestly don't really follow it, but there's a lot of YouTube videos about it. In my opinion, Apple not working with someone is petty because of some beef. The reason being is Apple, in my opinion, is lagging behind in the AI space right now. I mean, I personally haven't used it, but I've heard rumors that this Apple Intelligent is pretty nonsense in their iPhones right now. At the same time, though, at the same time, it seems like the consumer market is still not ready for AI products. So maybe Apple might just be taking its time, right? Apple might just be a little bit slower in adopting because they know the consumer isn't there. Um, let's see, what else do we have? NVIDIA is a long-term investment. Will double your money within 3 years. I'm holding minimum 10 years. Again, Vancouver. And I want to say, it's just at the end of the day, even though NVIDIA is such a great company right now, it's always important to remember that the semiconductor space is not, it's one of those industries you really can't just hold and not know what's going on. You have to understand how the space is innovating. You have to know how competition is going because look at Intel. Intel used to be the top player in this space. They got too comfortable and then things started to go very much south for them. Nvidia, luckily for right now, their CEO is not stopping, and this guy is one of the most paranoid persons in the world. So he continues to innovate at rapid levels that not even big tech player with hundreds and hundreds of billions in their cash can keep up with. So as long as they keep up that momentum, I think Nvidia will do really good for the long-term investor. Who will dominate the AI agent market? Very interesting. I think it's going to be someone who has a platform, Homer. Microsoft, in my opinion, has the opportunity, but sometimes Microsoft is a lot slower to do anything. So whoever has a form of platform, either being Apple, I think Apple has the opportunity once the consumer is able to go. So anybody who owns a platform, because it makes it easier to work with things, right? Because with AI agents, especially in the consumer space, the AI agents in theory is going to be able to click around things, is going to be able to do things. And for security reasons, I think Apple is not going to let a lot of apps do anything like that. So Apple's going to do it. Maybe Meta might be a good player if they really do kind of develop the next generation of computing with AR and VR glasses, or Microsoft, because they do have a huge platform, can also be a big player. Um, so I think AI agents, some of the big winners are going to be the platform players, and then there's obviously the software companies that are working on it right now. Um, Hassan, Jose, what stock would you recommend to beginner long-term investor with the high risk appetite that invest? I mean, I want to say many people. can't invest that type of money a month. So that's already a nice amount of money. I mean, at the end of the day, the most boring thing that I would say is invest first, start off and build a base on an ETF or an index. Most people go with the S&P 500 or the Qs. You guys know me. I love the semiconductor. I would personally first start off with investing maybe either on semiconductor ETF, SMH, or SOXX. Um, Start off with the semiconductor ETF, then just start looking at plays you enjoy. I enjoy the semiconductor market. I believe there's opportunities in things like the automotive space. I've talked about this company a lot on semiconductor. I think on semiconductor, once consumer spending picks back up, this is going to do really, really well. I think it's going to take some time for it, maybe two, maybe three more quarters, maybe even the whole year. But for me, I think on semiconductor is at a great kind of accumulation phase. I know many people don't like Micron technology as well. I do like Micron technology as well. At these levels, I think HBM is creating an opportunity for a moat in the memory market. So those are two plays that are a little bit more risky that I'm focusing on. Then super, super risky plays. There's not many that I touch. One that I do own and that I kind of add from time to time. This is like my lottery play where I have less than 1% of my portfolio is RXRX. But companies like this, I usually don't talk about in my channel because these are kind of lottery plays for me where it's only less than 1% of my overall portfolio. Um, from the future, eh, I'm from the future. Nvidia closes 150 on Friday. That would be insane. I mean, if you told me by Friday Nvidia can either close at 120, at 125, or 150, I would say, yeah, I think either of those possibilities are definitely true. Um, no Santa rally. You have to believe in Santa, Leah. You have to believe in Santa. Okay? It's that negativity that's causing this. A little bit of hope and faith will make this rally come to life. Or we've just been bad this year. What's going on, Martin? Hey, Jose, aka Santa Claus. Santa Chip. Let's think of a Santa semiconductor name. Um, Skittles RX RX. I'm not too familiar with the other one. And then OX. The only reason I know RX RX, if I'm gonna be honest, Skittles, is because of Nvidia. Nvidia is working with them in a little bit in some issues. They're partners, and they are getting kind of their large language models in Nvidia's AI software. So main reason I look at this one again, this is a lottery play for me. One that we've heard from Jensen, I think at the beginning of 2024, he did a keynote where he discussed how the healthcare market and more importantly, the pharmaceutical of drug discovery, and he calls it drug engineering, is going to change the world. So RXRX, in my opinion, is one of those that can benefit if true. Now, one thing that I am going to NVIDIA investor relations. Google should already know where I want to go. I'm pretty excited for this event coming up. So we have CES on January 7th, and actually we're going to have a fire chat. That's actually pretty cool. So we're definitely going to cover the fire chat, but the one I'm pretty excited about is JP Morgan's healthcare conference. NVIDIA is a really big player in advancing healthcare solutions with AI right now. I think this is going to be a market people aren't really discussing right now. I've done a video about this about a year ago. Let's see if we can find it. NVIDIA healthcare, Jose Najarro. Let's see if something comes up. Boop, 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 boop. No, it doesn't. Healthcare. NVIDIA's healthcare AI. Maybe not. But I did a video about a year ago on the AI market for NVIDIA. Show results with healthcare. Nope. And it talks about all the solutions that NVIDIA has in the healthcare space. And I think what do we have? Where were we? I think here we're going to have some great information. And for any NVIDIA investor, definitely want to keep a closer eye on. Well, So let's see. I mean, market's still pretty red. I mean, semiconductor stocks are definitely taking a hit. Let me see the software space. So here, hardware and software. We have Reddit down. Supermicro is back in the 30 levels. What? How high did it get? How high did Supermicro get to? Let's see. I'm just curious. I haven't followed Supermicro for a while. Year to date up 12%. So pretty good. I mean, for those that were able to purchase at 18. What's going on, Oscar? So, hey, if I missed any questions, feel free to let me know on the comments below. NUC Metro writes, hi, Jose. Ben from New Jersey is tuned in. Where is MIC headed short term? Buy or sell? Metro, I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, this company is really much dependent on any news it can come out with, its regulation issues, with its filings. So that's not something I think investors could have an edge unless you have the insider information with one of these, with their auditor firm or something like that. I think right now is pretty much a coin flip. If today we hear news that they submitted their filing and things look good, then that's going to be very bullish for the stock. If today we hear that they're going to delay it a little bit more, then I don't think that's good for the stock. So right now for Supermicro, it's really in that phase, which is the gamble phase, in my opinion. Obviously, long term, they definitely have a lot of opportunities with the AI data center market growth. I think right now, until all this kind of fades away, it's pretty much a gamble of what news is going to come out today on forms of their filing. So this is one of those plays in the short term. But yeah, what's going on? I think I said hello to Oscar already. All right, guys, any questions? I mean, in the semiconductor space. If not, I'm just going to kind of take a closer look at some news, seeing what's happening in the AI market right now. So this is one of the companies I tend to look at for semiconductor news on a regular basis. TrendForce, they have a lot of information there. AI chip firm, China's top stock of 2024, nearly 400% surge, surpassing Nvidia. That's pretty cute. I mean, they have their own Nvidia stock, I guess, over there in China, but there's no real competition for the hardware itself. What else do we have? The Chinese DRAM giant CXMT reportedly achieves 80% DDR5 yield, targeting 90% in 2025. So this is one of the, I want to say, the bearish cases into Sonja. Thank you. You found the video of me that I should have known. So it's called Nvidia stock, everything about the AI healthcare market. Google, come on. Be a kind of supporter to Jose. Bum bum bum. It does not show. This is sad. YouTube is not treating me well with my CEO. But definitely, that's definitely the name I remember. Well, not I don't remember. I mean, Sonja just gave me the name. But yeah, Open Life is good. We would love to see you more. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't plan anything. The only way these live streams are ever gonna be good is because I get the kind of feedback from you guys and kind of the Q&A session. That's what I really like to do, right? Q&A session. I like to discuss. I like to answer questions. I could care less most of the time with what's happening with the stock market itself on the daily basis. But I do like to know what's happening in the semiconductor space. So where were we? We were looking at some news. Were we? TrendForce. Yeah, so right now with the memory, Google search is getting lousy. I think so. Nah, I don't know, Vin. I use it almost on a daily basis still. Thank you. So yeah, all right. So I searched the video on it. What do you think? What do you think about ASML? Was like Ty. So I talked about it in the earlier on. Definitely check it out. Quick, too long, don't watch. ASML, definitely, I am bullish in the semiconductor equipment space. I believe ASML can benefit from things as countries develop their own semiconductor supply chain, and this kind of transformation that we're going from 3 nanometer to 2 nanometer with things like gate all around. So ASML can benefit. I just believe there's better plays in the semiconductor equipment market. I'm personally not investing in ASML, but I am investing heavily in the semiconductor equipment space. But again, very good. They are pretty much like we know they are a monopoly in their industry. They can definitely benefit. I think the semiconductor equipment right now, as a whole, is giving a huge opportunity. For some reason, I think many people were expecting, look, AI chips are gonna, we're seeing a huge demand of NVIDIA chips, so we need more ASML equipment. The important thing to understand is ASML's equipment is not the bottleneck for AI chips. That's nowhere near the bottleneck. They have plenty and plenty of wafers that they can make right now. The bottleneck of AI chips is things like HBM, is things like advanced packaging. So ASML, I mean, the stock, I'm surprised the stock is flat on a year to date basis. And I believe from here, the stock can definitely go higher. Can you do a live stream every day? I'm getting tired of me, Kevin. Lights. I mean, I'll try. I really will try. I do. Unfortunately, even though I do this for a living, my scheduling is kind of off, especially with my little one. Sometimes I like to say screw work and just go hang out with my little one. Sometimes I'd rather focus on some other stuff. But I am gonna try my hardest to do at least 3 times a week on during a trading week. So I don't think I'll probably even do one tomorrow for sure. And definitely enjoy the conversation I'm having with the overall chat right now. It also feels funny to say, chat, what do you think? I feel like a big YouTuber. All right. Start market open videos by Jose. They serve a thumb up. Any other questions? Did I miss something right now? What is your prediction for next 1 quarter earnings, Savannah? In what stock? In what in general? I mean, I think we're still going to see a weakness in consumer space for the PC space. We've heard that from Micron. I think data centers is going to continue to go up. CapEx is going to continue to grow up by data center players. Software is definitely an interesting play for Nvidia. I mean, we're finally getting Blackwell. Blackwell is finally gonna. I mean, we got some Blackwell revenue in the previous quarter. This one we're gonna get a lot more Blackwell revenue. I think we're also what I'm more excited about for Nvidia is this. So I think this is more GTC Nvidia. I think this is gonna be more on the second quarter for Nvidia. March 17th to 21. This is going to be, in my opinion, a great time for NVIDIA stock investors. The day of, and I'm going to make this prediction right now, the day of this event, the stock will already have run up a nice amount because everybody's going to get excited about it. So maybe the day of the event, stock prices might drop, but I think leading up to this event, we're going to see a lot of excitement to the stock. Let's see, video getting into quantum computing. Harvey. Yes, I mean, NVIDIA is very much into quantum computing. I mean, if you just Google NVIDIA quantum computing, they have so many different innovations. They have what we call kind of their software with accelerating CUDA Q. They also have kind of quantum cloud. They have NVIDIA cuQuantum. They have NVIDIA DGX Quantum, which is, hopefully you guys, that's my little one crying for a diaper change right now. But we also have NVIDIA's hybrid computing. So if you want to learn more about NVIDIA's quantum computing market, I've done a video about a week ago. NVIDIA stock investors worried about quantum computing? They shouldn't be, because NVIDIA is developing a lot in the quantum computing space. So definitely check it out. What else do we have? Stock market open. Appreciate. Thank you. Hey, and you guys haven't, make sure to check out my newsletter. Quick plug here. What the chip happened. It's almost my daily semiconductor news. Sometimes we don't get any real semiconductor news. As soon as earnings start out this week, not this week, in this upcoming month in January, it's going to be covered by a lot of stuff. It's on the pinned comment, what the chip happened, a lot of great insight. It's usually 3 topics in the semiconductor market that are pretty crucial to what investors should know. So check it out. The link is in the pinned comment. But yeah. All right, so let's see what else. We had a question talking about Poet Technologies. So Poet definitely got a lot of negative press after some YouTubers kind of got paid for it. because of that, I've been a little bit worried of covering it. I think right now though, the fiber fiber optics is very crucial for data center communication. We're seeing a lot of optics companies do really well. I mean, we have companies like Coherent, right? Coherent is a company, I'm going to guess year to date. Look, year to date, the stock is up 130%. We also have other companies like Light that also deal with some form of optics or communication. Year to date, I'm gonna guess it's up a nice amount, 62%. So optics is definitely a crucial play for AI chips, for AI data centers, because at the end of the day, nothing is really faster than light. And if you want to transfer data amongst anything, especially one of the things that's happening right now is right, we've heard from data centers. What's one of the biggest issues with data centers right now? One of the biggest issues, it's power limitations. Even if you had 10 million GPUs in theory, you don't have enough you don't have enough electricity to power 10 million GPUs. So in the recent podcast that I have recommended a lot of people to listen to, BG2 podcast, Dylan Patel actually mentions that Microsoft is actually building data centers in different places because they're able to kind of get, and then they're trying to connect those data centers with massive fiber optic technology. Because at the end of the day, the speed of light travels so quickly that it makes it seem like it's just one massive data center, but it eliminates that power restriction, right? You can have a power of 1 million GPUs in this location, and in another location a few miles away, a few hundred miles depending on how far, you can have another million GPUs. And if you connect it well enough with fiber optics, you might be able to make it seem like a huge 2 million GPU cluster. So there's definitely a market opportunity for optics. It's just one I have to learn a lot more. I mean, some of the biggest things though are optic transceivers, right? So these are very expensive products. These little things. I think one of the players that makes this is well, Coherent. So optical transceivers. This is why Coherent, we kind of saw their stock is up a nice amount. I think another one, optical transceivers, is that popular company that is coming out right now. What is it? It's a very popular semiconductor company, AS Broadcom too, but it's a small. It's a Joseph. It's a very small company that has kind of almost 10x. Marvell also does it. Yes. But there's another one. Oh my goodness. Um, Geez, let me. Uh, See, no. Oh my goodness. This is gonna drive me crazy. Hold on, guys. I need to think of this stock really quickly. Um, boom. Give me one quick second, guys. I really need to find the answer to this question. Unfortunately, this is under a paid wall, so I'm not my paid wall, someone's paid wall, so I don't wanna just give the information. I know they have the name. I've known from the company before that, but I just don't want to show this paywall thingy. Do 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 do. Sorry, guys, it's taking a little bit longer than expected. Oh my goodness, this is gonna drive me crazy. I know this is doing great for you viewers. You guys just love this. Man, am I gonna not find it? Let's see. I think, oh, here we go. Oh no, they don't do that. They don't do. But Astera Labs is another one that's doing a lot with communications. Um, but Astera Labs is another popular one. Not in optics, it seems. I don't really follow it too much, but I know has gotten a lot of excitement right now. Astera Labs. Poet Pump and Dump. How has it done? Again, everybody. But again, the overall optics, I mean, the stock has actually done really well. I mean, I don't cover it, but the stock has gone. ASML. What about ASML? I mean, we talked about it. You guys really like ASML. It seems you guys do. Again, I think ASML is definitely good. Not one I personally would invest in. I think the semiconductor equipment market has better opportunities. Greetings from Germany. Thank you. Appreciate it. Dan, but fiber optics. Do you have any suggestions, Dan, on some great fiber optics companies? There was a Transforce. Where do you get this information about the semiconductor market? In all honesty, I tend to follow a lot of great. What the chip just happened? What's going on, Neil? What's going on, Couch? How's it going? What are you buying on the next dip? What am I buying? I think I'm buying Micron. I think I'm buying AMD. I think I'm buying semiconductor equipment plays. I think I'm buying on semiconductor. Now, if you're talking about outside the semiconductor space, I think I've been thinking about this lately. You guys in I might do a video on this later in the few. Oracle was one of my top stocks for 2024. I thought the market didn't understand Oracle. I think now the market understands Oracle, unfortunately, and it has kind of seen, luckily, the stock price has gone up a nice amount. But let's see. Previously, PE ratio of Oracle was trading below the 20s. And I've mentioned in that 2024, my top 3 stocks for 2024, that one of my opportunities for Oracle is the market did not understand Oracle and how it was going to build massively in AI infrastructure. Now it seems the market understands it and is pricing accordingly. I think now it's still time to invest in data centers, and in forms of data centers and AI infrastructure, we have the big 3 plus Oracle. So we have Microsoft, we have Amazon, and we have, what's the last one? We have Google, right? So I think the market hates Google. I don't know why. If we see more of a market dip on Google, I think Google is the best big tech player out there. Google has the best chip designs, nowhere near. So Google's TPU, Amazon, everybody's talking about Amazon and the Trainium 2 and the Inferentia 2 and all these other chips. Those chips are trash. They have to pay customers to really much use it. Hyperscaler too, yes. Meta is also there. The only big tech player that knows how to design chips is Google, and Google does it really well, really really well. Everybody else is Amazon does it okay. I think is second player, but really really far off. Microsoft, I don't think does really good at developing AI chips or chips in general right now. So they're the last one out of the big 3, and Meta Platforms might be in the last one as well. I think right now, if any of these were to give me a real dip, I would enjoy Alphabet or Meta Platforms. Those would be my top 2 plays in this list right now, if any gave me a buying opportunity. So out of the big 5 right here, I'm still bullish in Oracle. I'm not going to sell my position, but I'm not adding in Oracle anymore. Jose, have you ever covered SMH Semiconductor ETF for the recently released SMHX Fabless Semiconductor? I'm planning on adding to SMH to long-term investment plan. The SMHX ETF looks interesting. I cover SMH, the love. I think it's weird. I do believe the future of, now this is how my crazy thought process goes. I think humans need to innovate, and humans are going to continue to innovate in this world. And the only true way to continue to innovate at this current space is through semiconductors. Semiconductors are what's going to push the next innovation. Because at the end of the day, while software is a very important part of semiconductors, and that's why now most semiconductors are becoming software companies as well, you need that hardware, you need that computational brain. So if I only could invest in one stock, it would be SMH, and I would just do that as a long-term investor. Now, SMHX, let's see this. This is pretty interesting. I've never looked at this one, but Fabless, this looks exciting. I'm gonna guess Nvidia is the top player here with over 10% of Let's see holdings. So this is fabless. So you don't see any semiconductor equipment players. You're going to see companies like FunFAQ. Where do we have holdings? Would it be in FunFAQ? Nope, nope. Come on. Can you just give me holdings? Did I miss it? The fees, 0.35% isn't that crazy either. All right, so sorry for the random noises. Now this is actually pretty good. If I was, let's say, if I didn't want to invest in just one semiconductor company, if I didn't want to just invest in Nvidia, I think Broadcom is a little bit expensive. I think a lot of people, I think Broadcom is going to give us opportunities in the next quarter or two. And let me tell you why. I think Broadcom's revenue is very heavily dependent on TPUs right now. There are rumors that TPUs might not see a huge order in quarter one and quarter two of this upcoming year. And for that reason, it could create some form of tailwinds to investors. So again, just rumors that I've heard that Broadcom's TPU revenue might be a little bit slow in quarter one and quarter two. If it is true and the market is not expecting that, then I think the market is going to see a nice correction in Broadcom stock. Nvidia, I definitely understand there. Astera Labs, we've seen that one. I don't know. I think right now the AI, it definitely has growth opportunities. Cadence and Synopsys are, in my opinion, those are another two plays that I normally don't invest in, but I think Synopsys, especially Synopsys, is giving great holdings. Qualcomm seems like it seems, Joseph, that it's still undecided. It seems like there's going to be a retrial on that. But it's definitely a great time for Qualcomm. I think Qualcomm can definitely benefit. Qualcomm, while it's no longer just a phone company, its revenue is still really dependent on the phone industry. We've heard from Micron Technologies that the phone industry is still slowing a slow pace. So until we get kind of that huge AI revolution phase that's going to drive sales on phones, I think Qualcomm is going to be a bit quiet till then. AMD, good. Marvell, monolithic power. You know, I'm not hating this ETF. I can definitely see the excitement of this right now. Who was it that was talking about that? So the semiconductor ETFs are great. I enjoy SMH in the long term. I don't know if you know if you know this, I would actually prefer a semiconductor ETF right now of equipment companies. Is there a semiconductor ETF of equipment companies? Semiconductor equipment ETF. That is one that I think is actually very, very bullish right now. I think the semiconductor equipment market is getting destroyed. And it's going to probably, I think they're going to do better than fabless within the next few years. So I would rather open up a position. I would rather open up a position in SMH than fabless right now might be a little bit too excited with the overall AI craze. And I believe the opportunity might be in semiconductor equipment. But no, it doesn't seem like there's a semiconductor equipment ETF. Vanik, if anybody from Vanik is watching, I know someone's watching. Make a semiconductor equipment ETF, please, and thank you. If something happens in the next month, even in the next year, I'm going to say they did it because of this video. So let's see. Couch, good call on Marvell. Broadcom is beating it right now, but Marvell, no one was expecting Marvell. Marvell was one that was winning from Amazon, and Amazon now is doing great on chips. So very, very excited about Marvell. But again, I think right now the ASIC market is hot. I don't like the market when it gets too hot. I think the ASIC market like Marvell and Broadcom is hot. I'm personally not adding on these levels. I think now the memory market is not hot. The memory market used to be hot, right? Micron used to be hot, and that's when everybody loved the stock. And if you said anything wrong about Micron earlier this year, you would get trashed on. I did not like Micron at these levels. I think now Micron gets a lot of hate, and I'm enjoying it. Same with AMD. And is the market open? Are we open yet? No, 3 minutes. Same with AMD. I think AMD, even though yesterday's video pretty much, I think I can I curse in my own videos? Do I get demonetized? I don't know. But AMD, in yesterday's video, I feel like I shitted on AMD, and I didn't really want to do that. But Nvidia just makes it so easy. Nvidia is my number one position, and Nvidia is so good. I always say AMD is not the next Nvidia, and I will never make anybody think that. But I think AMD has the opportunity, and it's because most don't expect AMD to do well. I think the easiest way is like you have two kids. You have Nvidia, which is your A plus student. You don't expect any less from Nvidia than the A plus. Unfortunately, because of that, when they come on with the A plus, like we saw in the last earnings, we're going to see a few earnings. You don't give much of a reaction, and that's why I want to say the stock hasn't really given much of a reaction on Nvidia because everybody is expecting those A plus reports. Now for AMD, I think the current AI space, most people are expecting AMD to get a C plus, C minus, maybe even a D. I believe there's going to be a quarter where AMD in forms of AI chips is going to give us even a B plus, maybe even a B minus. We weren't expecting that. And because this kid usually gives us a C minus or a D, we're going to be very, very happy. And it's going to create great opportunity for investors. Robert, Jose, do you see any risk of Trump tariffs for semiconductors? I mean, I think in the semiconductor market, no matter who's president, you always see some form of tariff. You always see some form of chip war, and any form of chip issues internationally has always been an issue, no matter who's in charge. So it's nothing new if you're a semiconductor investor. This is what we tend to like live by every other presidency. I mean, well, obviously here with the Biden administration, you saw those export restrictions on AI chips, right? So you saw certain companies take a hit on the Chinese market. So no matter who it is, you're gonna the semiconductor market is such a crucial space that it's always going to be something that impacts one way or another, no matter who's in charge, right? Um, so what about Intel? Nobody's interested in Intel anymore. Well, there's Vinvin. There's certain semiconductor companies that, even though get hated, I don't touch. Intel's one of them. I think Intel has the opportunity. Intel used to have the opportunity when their CEO was Pat. Again, most people for some reason hate Pat. I think Pat was was the guy that was gonna drive Intel into a path where it could make a finish go. I don't know if he was gonna actually do it, but he was gonna drive Intel to that path, and then Intel had to succeed with their engineers and with their talents, with their workforce, with their culture. But he was at least gonna put it in the path. With them seeing CEO departure, I think now it's gonna take a lot longer, and I have to wait to see who the new CEO is before even making any real judgment on Intel. But I guess my judgment right now is I wouldn't touch Intel. Um, Joseph, is it true? Nvidia. Yep. I mean, I think they talk about it. It's so weird. This is a topic that gets every single month. I feel this one gets talked about, and it's something we've heard about for at least a few years now already. But I don't know why that always gets a lot of attention. It's pretty interesting. I mean, that's a pretty cool family tree that you have there. Definitely pretty impressive. Maybe my family tree will look like that one day. Um, any thoughts on Supermicro? Samuel, sorry, Spanish in me was coming out. Any thoughts on SMCI? It's a gamble. It's a gamble. That's all I want to say with Supermicro. Right now, you're in the stage in the short term with Supermicro that is all dependent on what comes out next for its filings, right? It's all about that. If we get some good news about filings, it definitely is going to see a huge a huge reaction in stock price. If we see some bad news about filings, you're going to see some bad news in stock price. AMT down about 1.4%. Let's see, what else do we have? Any thoughts? Hi Jose, do you see? I answer that. What are your thoughts about Nvidia entering the CPU market? If true, could be bullish. Corbett, definitely could be true. Love, thank you for your thoughts on SMH. I'm fully invested in my retirement ETF and fully invested in Nvidia. All my monthly contributions are going into SMH. I'm on 7-year growth plan, then pull it all out. Love, I mean, I think that's the, I think, right, it's weird. I honestly can't think about how I would handle a retirement account right now because that's just not where I'm at in my financial stage. I think right now, if I can only buy one ETF, it definitely would be the semiconductor market ETF. And the only thing is the semiconductor ETF, if we look at this charts, let me show you why I really enjoy the semiconductor market ETF. SMH, QQs, and SPY. If we look at normalized rates, and also guys, don't forget to check out whatthechip.com. But yeah, in the past 5 years, SMH has vastly outperformed. In the past 3 years, SMH has outperformed. In the past 1 year, obviously, in the past 10 years, it has outperformed. So for me, the semiconductor market, even though there might be times when it does kind of go with the overall market, it continues to outperform the indexes. The only thing I would say about the semiconductor market is the swings are much higher, right? You see kind of that it went from here all the way down here. So obviously a portfolio on a semiconductor ETF will feel the pain a lot more when things go bad, but in when things go good, it would feel those gains a lot better. So for me, for accumulating wealth, the boring play for me would be a semiconductor ETF. But in a retirement play, I think maybe that volatility might be something that some might consider risky, right? Because when retirement, you don't know when you might need that money. So with an SMH, the semiconductor tends to be a little bit more volatile in forms of its cycle. Oh, did they get it? Nice, Joseph. We'll look at that. Let's see. Any questions I might have missed? If I missed any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I don't know how this live stream is doing. I hope we have a few people on here. I definitely want to say thank you everybody for the support so far. I might do another one tomorrow. I'm gonna try to set a schedule. Eventually, if you guys are familiar with Couch Investor, with Neo, we're planning on maybe running some live streams as well together. I think sometimes that conversational live streams are very, very helpful and maybe a little bit more engaging. So once I get my rhythm, I think we're gonna discuss that really a lot more. Wow, appreciate it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. My first super chats. Thank you so much. Uh, is it the I love? That's how I would say it, or is it Theo love? Or maybe completely off because I usually butcher words. Thank you for your thoughts and opinions. Your channel is very helpful in navigating this complex maze. And that's overall what I want to do with this channel, right? I think the semiconductor market seems scary. I try, my overall goal is to kind of, I don't want to say dumb it down, but I think sometimes any market in general tries to use big words and tries to use big terms to scare off people from learning about that space. And I think I just want to kind of make the semiconductor open source where anybody can really learn about it. So hopefully I'm doing that. Wait, I was gonna look at something, and then I lost my train of thought. Let's see how stocks are doing. Please run CNBC in background and maybe provide your comments on market opens. So that's all right. That's great. I think I'm gonna start doing that maybe in the future, especially. But I don't know how some of these people do it, where they pull up the right clip at the right time. That means I have to be listening to that and then also thinking. I can only do so much thinking at one time. Was it? No. So Astera Labs. It was Astera Labs, the company I was looking for when we were talking about that. But let's look. I want to hear this thoughts about Run AI. I totally forget what Run AI does. So, Nvidia Run AI. So I want to see what. So Nvidia to acquire GPU orchestration software provider Run AI. Israel startup promotes efficient cluster. All right, so Reuters, Nvidia, Open AI. Now, I think I remember this acquisition news. Oh, but that came out about a week ago. Unless you're from the past and I'm from the future. Am I on the future right now? And is my computer just that fast? Where do we hear it? Greatly appreciate your thoughts. Akash, greatly appreciate your work. Jose, appreciate your comment. What are your thoughts on why Apple does not plan to use? I don't know. I heard there's beef. That seems like drama that I could care. I've never really researched it, but I know there's some drama, some old drama under the I don't know between I don't know and I don't know. But there's definitely some Apple and Nvidia trouble. Let's see, Apple and Nvidia drama. Does that come out with anything? Apple Insider. Why does Nvidia have such a bad relationship with Apple? They release drivers for Linux. They're just not offering. Nvidia, nope. I don't know. It seems like there's some thing that happened in the. But look, Apple Insider. Apple's bad blood with Nvidia continues. Oh, it continues. I thought it was gonna after decades of fighting. In November 2020, Apple announced this M1 chip. Now it seems like Apple is gearing up to reduce its reliance on other third-party developers. Currently, Apple with Nvidia to power blah blah blah. Nvidia currently controls blah 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 blah. I think, with Apple, I don't know. If Apple just doesn't want to use the best of the best because of some feud, I think that alone would push me away from management. I don't care what the feud is. If you're able to improve your product because there's a open solution out there like Nvidia to help you improve your product at rapid levels and you're just not using it because of some feud, then that to me just screams bad management, in my opinion. I personally would be more bullish in any if they'd be like, you know what, they fucked us up, or a few, excuse my language, they messed us up, and it's okay. They have the worst best product, and for us to continue to develop, I'll work with them. So I don't know. If there is actually some issues with it, I think Nvidia in Apple's management is just bunch of losers. Bunch of losers. It was a long time ago, right, Vindin? I mean, like, get over it. If you need to innovate, if you want to be the best of the best, Micron down to 85. Let's see how our semiconductor stocks are doing. Semiconductor stocks. That should be my jingle for my intro. Let's look at our semiconductor stocks. So who's down the most right now? So Wolfspeed. I know a lot of people like Wolfspeed. I don't really follow it, but down. We have Indie down about 4%. We have AOSL down 4%. Air Technologies has seen a nice run up to 15, now down 3%. Micron in the 85s. I think Micron at these levels, very, 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 very attractive. Very. In forms of both. Again, I don't really talk about technicals in my videos. It doesn't mean I don't use them. Looks attractive. Camtech, one I enjoy. There's no green in the semiconductor space. Maybe today is going to be the red day and tomorrow's the super bullish green day. Can we hope that? But yeah, so what is Nvidia at right now? Let's see. Nvidia is holding up all right. Yeah, holding up all right at 136. Same. I might grab some Micron shares and wait for quarter two earnings. Fiscal quarter two or quarter two. What's going on, Q? What's going on, Q? Much love from Q. Q has been one of the OG supporters when I had like less than 100 subs, probably. I think that was many, many years ago. I'm probably the slowest growing YouTube channel ever, but that's okay with me. Same, I might grab some Micron. Yep, I think so. Due to some reason, refused to design chiplets for Apple products. There are rumors, AI antics. There are rumors of Nvidia making humanoid robots. Any thoughts about that? So I don't think Nvidia would enter in the robotics space that much. I think they would just create the hardware solutions for it. I mean, they have the door. I heard some rumors today. Nvidia CES door. Let's see if I get anything. I thought I saw some news. Was this the news I saw? Nvidia store. No, that's not the rumor I heard. It was some good rumors. Where did I see it? Did I see it on X? Let me see. I don't know what I have on X right now, so let me hide this. Wait, am I sharing? I don't know which one I'm sharing now. All right, it's not X. But NVIDIA at the end of the day is more going to make the computer brain for it. It's not going to do anything else. I don't think it's going to really enter the hardware of manufacturing the actual robot. They're going to power the brain. They're going to power some of the other stuff as well with their overall chips. They're going to do software solutions. They're going to do data center solutions, cloud solutions. So NVIDIA entering the robotic space is going to be kind of indirect, like we see it do it in every other space where it provides the brain. So what else do we have here? All right. So question for you, the viewers. If I was to do more live streams, today I started about 8:30 Eastern. Should I start it a little bit later? Would you guys want a little bit earlier? Because I know there's obviously other popular live streamers that do the open market. So actually, let me put a poll. I want to engage with my audience. Start a poll. When should I start live streams? Look at me being a big. This is when I should start it, not 9:30. Let's just put 8 too. And one more option. These are all on Eastern Standard Time. All right. Let's see. Did I start the poll? What about the call for Elon Musk on XAI? Nvidia and Marvell support this. What's the call, Vinden, of XAI? If robot and any robot, yeah. So that's the great thing, right? Pandora. If whoever wins in the robotic space, we're gonna have Nvidia be the big player. All right. So 8:30, seeing a lot of love right now. Boom. 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yo, someone 8 hours earlier. What are you, my kid that wants to wake me up early in the morning? All right, so no one wants the 9:30, right? No one wants that 9:30. 8:30, 9, 8:30. I'm just gonna. All right, keep voting. Hello, good people. What's going on, Rojas? How's it going? Long time, no chat. I think would be the best way to say it. All right, so let's get some votes in. So let's see, Jose, what do you think about this? So that's one that I actually been curious about, Tony, right? So for those that are not familiar, there is this Chinese company called DeepSeek. And they just introduced, hopefully I don't have my messages open. So they just introduced DeepSeek V3. And in this model, they mentioned that it's compatible against Anthropic's Claude 3.5, and I believe OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0. The great thing is that they were able to do it in very low compute power. They were using H800s, and they were using a lot less H800s than any of these other players were using H100. So they were able to reach similar performance of latest models with less compute power. So many are wondering if this is going to be kind of the issue that's happening with NVIDIA in the future, that the new models aren't going to need that much power. I don't know, Tony. I mean, I think it would have been different, Tony. This is where my thought process is first. It might have been a bit different if this was the first
I got a message from who? Let's see. Hi, chat. It had to be Couch. It had to be Neil. Luckily, it didn't pop up. But it would have been different for me, Tony, if this was the first, right? If this was the most revolutionary model out there and did it first. I think doing something first is a lot harder than doing it third or fourth place, right? So first was OpenAI with ChatGPT 4, then it was Claude with 3.5, and finally third was DeepSeek. I wonder how much data they might have used from OpenAI, from Claude, to be able to generate this. I don't know if they discussed that in their paper. That's something I would love to learn a little bit more about. So I think there's a lot of in-betweens and a lot of questions that need to be answered before there's a true assessment. Um, I won't, but also at the end of the day, when you the human mind, when they get bottlenecked where something, they have to innovate, right? It forces you to innovate. Humans tend to live when things, they just tend to innovate. So just, yeah, it's something I'm gonna keep an eye out, Tony. Hopefully, I know I didn't say much, but it's different if they were number one. Then being number three leads to a lot of questions on how much they learned from number one and number two. And right now, we're also seeing a huge shift in kind of inference timing, outside of just overall training growth, which is also another impact in the AI space. Gustavo, what are we talking about? Just be patient. It's at an interesting price. AMD absolutely sucks. It was a mistake to buy. Mediation. I mean, I don't know. It depends on when you bought. If you bought AMD at the 200s, then yeah, it sucked. It sucked. It definitely did suck. I think if you bought in the 150s, I think maybe you might just be a little bit impatient and you might just be wanting, you might just want to YOLO into quantum computing stocks. But I think AMD stock price and why is Google sucking right now? Um, AMD stock price, please. Google, what is going on here? Is Google's chart broken? Whoa. All right, it's time to short Google, it seems. Um, Nvidia in the green now. Is Nvidia green? Let's look. Even though Google doesn't want to share that information with me. What if I've been holding AMD since the 20s? Exactly, right, Sean? I mean, I've been holding AMD early ages as well. So for me, I think that's unfortunately one of the things that I have to remember, that my thought process might be different from others just because of my basis on my overall cost price basis. But in this channel, we definitely badmouthed AMD at the 200s. So at the 200s, I wasn't a fan of the stock. At the 150s and below, I am very bullish. Look at Nvidia go. Nvidia is green. Nvidia is like, you want a Santa rally? All right. So it seems 8:30 seems to be a good time. So I'll start at 8:30 for my live streams. If I start, I'm gonna try tomorrow again. I promise I'll try tomorrow again. I only shorted AMD before earnings. Damn. So 8:30s, I'll probably finish around 10ish, so you guys can go enjoy your other ones that probably get a lot of traction right now. But 8:30 is good. I think we're gonna get a lot. I think especially since I don't really care much about kind of the macroeconomics, guys. Right? I could care less about that. I care more just about semiconductor news, and I think we can cover that in 8:30 to maybe 9:30 or 10. When you say you are a fan, does it mean? Yes, Sean. Usually, when I say I'm not a fan of a company, I don't mean I'm going to short the stock. I would never short any stock. It means I'm not a fan of it at that price because I believe maybe valuations are a little bit too high, or I wouldn't be entering dollar cost averaging or entry point. So I wasn't a fan at that price. So yeah, it's more like I don't like the valuation of the stock at that moment. I only shorted AMD before earnings. How's that short doing? I'm pretty sure doing good, right? Was AMD before over 150 before earnings? You're in the news section. What does that mean, Gustavo? You're in the news section. The news for what? Oh, I'm like, thank you. Is that what was happening? Tony's Jose looks like DeepSeek tweaked transformer models somewhat. I don't know more details yet. So I'm definitely gonna use AI to explain that a little bit more about me. Thank you. I guess it was me that was broken. It's always the user, not the Google platform. Um, what else do we have? I really enjoyed this interaction. Homer, I really enjoy it too. I really enjoy it as we can come, just have questions, badmouth certain companies, good mouth certain companies, make fun of certain people, don't make fun of certain people. I mean, I'm not, my friends are, let me just say, the semiconductor, there's different audiences in the stock market world. And I learned that as a YouTuber thingy. I really just want to focus on the semiconductor industry, and that's it. That doesn't mean that a general live stream like a mid is it right. The general live streams are amazing. That's why me Kevin does so well. That's why all these other live streamers do well. I I personally just don't find fun in that. I find fun in kind of talking about AMD and Nvidia. So overall, I'm pretty excited. All right, guys, I have like 4 or 5 minutes left. Oh, actually, can I get a? I'm gonna ask a quick favor. Today's my mom's birthday. Can we just get a happy birthday for my mom on the chat? I don't know how many people are here. If we only have 10 people and I can get like 5 happy birthdays for my mom, that would be awesome. After this, I'm probably gonna. I already called her for the morning. Gonna call my brother to see what we have in store. Do you think Micron? Adam, yes. Um, Adam, I think Micron is a buy. Am I wrong? I could be wrong, but I like Micron. I'm actually going to be adding H, Gustavo, Core, H. Thank you guys so much. Definitely. I'm going to show my mom that she's getting a little birthday love here. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Moms are the best. 100%. Awesome. Awesome, guys. Thank you, Joseph, Adrian, Sean, Alex, Roberts, Tony, Mike, Sam. Thank you, guys. Mike, thank you so much. To the mom, the original tax break. Yep. I'm definitely going to show her this. I'm going to call her in a bit. But all right. Before we head out, any questions, guys? Any questions? And I promise I'll try my best tomorrow to show up. K Young, tomorrow 8:30. We got live stream tomorrow at 8:30. Yes. All right, I'm gonna do 8:30 tomorrow, and I'm gonna try at least 3 days a week at 8:30 to 10. But again, we have about 5 minutes. Any questions before I close out? I got a question. Hey, look, Jose, would I buy Micron at these levels? I do. I am. I am. For those that are not familiar, because of my Motley Fool sponsorship, if I talk about a stock on a sponsored video, which I think I did on Sunday, I can't buy a stock for about 2 days because I can't just pump the market, right? I can't pump the market and then do that. So I have to be patient on when I buy. I think Sunday was my last Micron video. I'm not going to be discussing Micron anytime soon because in a sponsored video because I'm going to be getting ready to acquire the stock. Run AI, what does it mean for NVIDIA? Oh, we were talking about that, right? Run AI, they are a GPU orchestration company. Where were we looking at? So it helps efficiently kind of build more GPU clusters, it seems, and just makes the GPU more efficient, which I think is very, very important. I definitely did a video on Run AI when they did this, so I'll probably maybe just look Jose Najarro Run AI acquisition on YouTube, and I'll probably explain it a little bit more in my past self. But the ability to pull GPUs and share computing powers from fractional GPUs to multiple GPUs are very, very important. So the ability to orchestrate what GPUs are going to do with certain workloads is going to be very important. I think that's why NVIDIA really wants them, and I think it's going to be beneficial in the long term of NVIDIA continuing to build its moat. It's going to continue to build its moat even bigger and bigger. So definitely good play there. I bought a lot of SK Hynix. Or if SK Hynix is also a big player. I don't know. I can't trade it in the U.S. markets here, so that's the only reason I don't buy SK Hynix. But SK Hynix is the leader in the chip market right now. Come on. But why is Nvidia rising? Santa came or is coming early for Nvidia, hopefully. You guys think we finished green? Last question. So 8:30. Do we finish green? I like these polls. Let me start another poll. Let's start another poll. One more poll before I close out. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Nvidia closes green? Question mark? What? And now I'm actually kind of getting hungry too. I want some breakfast. Jensen is always kicking arses. Yes, very true. What time zone? I'm Felix. I'm Jersey, East Coast. I'm in the Jersey area. So, any Jerseyans around? Pretty good. What's the bad side of Run AI to NVIDIA? What do you mean, Sultan, the bad side? I don't think there's a bad side. If they don't get the acquisition, I think NVIDIA would just develop the solution itself. If there's a good side, the good side is they won't have to develop the acquisition, the technology themselves. So, yeah, I think it's a moat of an ability to be able to improve its moat. Me from New Jersey. Nice, nice. What about China demand for monopoly? The wink. What do you mean? China's demand for monopoly. Monopoly where? What do you think of Neo, the robot, 1X company? Neo the robot. Let's look. I want to Google Neo the robot. Neo the robot. It's a robot chef? Is it really a robot chef? I would buy a robot chef, no problem. That just, in my opinion, that just looks like a person though, wearing a mask. Ah. Oh, the wink. Yeah, I could. With their so Nvidia monopoly issue with the Mellanox acquisition back in 2020. I think the Chinese market or Chinese government is just trying to show some strength in regulations. I really wouldn't be worried as a semiconductor investor, as an Nvidia investor. Felix, AM. So I think I said AM, right? Every morning 8:30 AM. Hopefully that made sense, and hopefully people were voting for 8:30 AM and not PM. But yeah, I mean, the moment we have an AI, a robot that can do cooking, I think I'm gonna. I don't care how much. If it's less than 100,000, I think I would buy it. A robot chef, less than 100. Yes, 100%. Less than 50, I'll buy two. Less than 30, I'll buy three. So I'll have my own kitchen and start a business. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt on what? But yeah, I think humanoid robots are coming. If there's two technologies that the semiconductor market is going to revolutionize within the next 5 years, is first robotics. Robotics being either humanoid robotics, drone robotics, autonomous driving in vehicles robotics, or just last mile and other types of robotics, like how we see it in Star Wars. I think that's the first market AI is gonna really kind of show some true user cases. The second, in my opinion, is gonna be healthcare. Healthcare, especially with things like drug discovery. And I don't know why I'm watching here when my camera's here. So drug discovery, I think, is going to be the second biggest play in the AI space. Robot chef would be a smart oven. Robot chef would be a smart oven. Not sure if there's a wordplay there. Sometimes I'm not smart enough to go. Apparently, ByteDance plans to spend $7 billion. Just seen an article about it. Corbett, nice. I mean, forward PE ratio for NVIDIA is already in the lower 50s, right? What companies would be NVIDIA main competition? Luis, in what scenario? I mean, I talk about it. I think in forms of main competition, and I'm going to use the word competition loosely here. It's definitely AMD, loosely. I'm just saying number one and number two are so far off that there's no real competition. I think AMD would be the biggest competition because it actually has a GPU. There's no other player that has a GPU out there. And it has somewhat of a software space. While it's nowhere near great like NVIDIA, and I did it in yesterday's episode, they do have something. So NVIDIA up here, number one. Number two is like down here. It would be AMD. Broadcom and Marvell, I think the ASIC market is not real competition, but the market doesn't understand that yet. But yeah. So, anyways, gals, everybody, I appreciate the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it with me. Thank you for all the super chat love. Thanks for wishing my mom a happy birthday. Hopefully, the market finishes green. Hopefully, we brought some good momentum to the market by doing this live stream. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I definitely will be on tomorrow at 8:30. Supply constraint is the biggest spot. Come on, man. All right, so now I'm gonna awkwardly try to end my stream because I'm still new to this, so it's gonna take some time. So I'm just gonna talk through it, and oh, it actually wasn't that bad. I can see end stream.